What's going on, everybody? Listening to a little bit of Crowbar in the background here. Great tone, Kirk Winstein. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to get some Pantera, some NOLA tones, and talk about just audio in general. Not really a plug-in rundown as much as just showing you guys around. How's it going? Crowbar forever. I agree. I think they're doing a new album too. I also think that he's Kurt came back to Down, did he not? If I'm not mistaken. Maybe. All right. So this is pardon me. Just to start the episode off, by the way, just because this is back-to-backing with another episode, I got to be careful. Just make sure. Hi. Welcome to the Amp Sim Show. My name is Tyler, and welcome to the Amp Sim. What we do here is we talk tone. We talk about plugins. We talk about all the things that surround amp sims in the greater reach and of needs. Drum software, picks, pickups, strings, guitar setups, anything that's related to how to get the best out of your amp sims, and also things that you might be constantly using with them. How's it going, everybody? Thanks so much for being with me again today. We went pretty long in that last one, but I'm excited to be here. Very excited to be here. We've done 2 release streams, and then this stuff, the audio stuff, started to come up, and it started to come up in the last couple streams. And I said, why not? Let's do some stuff with some audio. And so I'm using my Destroyer today, Ibanez Destroyer. It's not anything particularly fancy. It's loaded with an L500XL. Is the exact pickup used by Dimebag, of course. Although his wasn't Bill Lawrence USA, but this is Bill Lawrence USA, and the L500XL made by that company. Gosh, sorry guys, I got a bit of an itch. You know that itch that's in that one little, it's perfectly placed where you have to contort yourself like, oh, I almost got it. There it is. Got it. You do like the bear thing and just like have a tree in the house where I just like walk up and scratch like my whole body on it. Anyways, also in the neck in this guitar, I'm actually not 100% sure. I actually don't know what I put in the neck of this guitar. I know it was absolutely thrown in last minute. Not 100% sure. I'm just looking at it now like, what did I put in here? I can't even remember. I use it today, although this guitar is actually probably going to be getting some new pickups at some point. Don't know exactly what I'm doing with which pickups, but I'm going to be switching some pickups around when I start working with Aurora Tone. I'm going to be moving some stuff around. I'm actually removing all of my Fishman stuff. I've decided I just don't like active pickups, and the only active pickup that I really, really like is the EMG 81 with the 18 volt mod and the booster. That is like I'm just not an active pickup guy. I'm a passive pickup guy to the core. So I'm going to be replacing some pickups in a few different guitars. If you're out there and you're into Fishman stuff, get at me. The Amp Sim Universe at gmail.com. Get at me. The only set that I think I'm going to be keeping is I'll be keeping the Greg Koch Telecaster set because it's amazing. Everything else, I'll be getting rid of my Ryan Bruce signature Fishman Fluence Modern. That'll be going. And then I'm going to be getting rid of the Matt Heafy set as well. So if you're out there and you're looking for those sets, I'll be putting them up on a Reverb at some point. But anyways, I'm a passive guy. I like passive guitar tones. Oh, I'm noticing there's an issue with this. Okay, not an issue then. Okay, let's get to it. That's interesting. All right, let's see what we got here. We're just gonna go crunchy punch. Listening to my neighbor listening to music in the background. not going to be an overly long stream, probably about an hour. We're going to go through the Solidus series and a few other things and just showcase both the Solidus Randy 250, the Solidus VS 8100, as well as going to be showcased, and then a few different things from Audiority. The Doomagorgon's in there, Green Reaper, the Overseer. This is, of course, is Marshall Governor. This is a Tube Screamer with lots of different mods. Pardon me. You also have a free amp in here. There's the L12X solid state amplifier. And they also have a bunch of free effects over at Audiority, like a phaser and a very simplified precision drive, Dr. Drive. A whole bunch of different stuff. Man, Crowbar is a seriously depressing band. Always has been. I love Crowbar, though. There's some songs, though, where you just want to move past them. Skippers. Unless I'm feeling in that mood. Unless you're in that zone where you want to be brought down into that hurting zone. And you want to lean into that sometimes. Those are the songs for it. But when you're in a fucking, like, you're kind of charged up today. You know, I'm up. I'm not down. I'm up. You know, I want to stay up. In any event. Mark Studios. EMG 24 volt mod is the perfect metal pickup. Huh. What? I've never seen it. Huh. The 24 volt mod EMG 81? Interesting. Well, I honestly haven't heard it, but thank you for letting me know. I'm interested. I want Lundgrens. Yeah, we all do, buddy. I would love to try a set of Lundgrens, but unfortunately, I'd have to sell this guitar and probably every. Like, these things are like $400 a pickup or something ridiculous. Like, or they're very expensive in Canadian money. Anyways, it's quite expensive. Hey guys, I would love to list. They sound fantastic though. I wouldn't say dullish highs. I also really do think it depends on the set of Fishman Influence moderns that you're trying. It's not that I'm getting rid of the Fishman stuff because I hate it. I'm just getting rid of it because I notice myself noticeably. I find myself noticeably not picking up the guitars that have the Fishmans in them right now. And that's a bummer because I like playing those guitars. So I got to fix that. If there's something about your guitar where you're not picking, you know, you have other guitars and there's something in your collection you're just never picking up. Why? Why aren't you picking it up? Figure out what it is. Inject some serotonin into the situation, you know? Make yourself want to play that guitar again or get rid of it. Find something else for the collection that you'll play more. That's my theory. Modify it. Do something fun to it. Because obviously if you don't play it ever, you don't really care about it that much. So modifying it won't really matter that much. Unless you're somebody that's got like 30 guitars and there's just like a few that, who's got time for that? You know, like I've got a lot of guitars here. I've got a ton of guitars here. But the only purpose to those guitars is creating content and having different sounds for streams for you guys. So if I found myself not doing this type of work anymore, it'd be, although on the other side of things, something tells me, something inside of me, it says that if I'm trying to be thorough and trying to create something that is for everyone to enjoy, I kind of have to include the people that like Fishman. I probably should keep at least one set of Fishman around. The one that I'm getting rid of for certain is the Ryan Bruce pickup, as it just does not sound good in any of the guitars I've put it in. It is a great sounding pickup, though. It really is. That one's going to be going for sure. The Matt Heafy set, I think I should probably just keep it around, play the guitar more in streams, and just be like, okay, we're going to be doing some active stuff today. You know, I think that having a lot of different options around means that I probably should rightfully have that around. Anyways, moving forward, we're working with a few different amps today. I just wanted to show you guys this real quick before I move along. This is the Clerton Einstein from Audiority. This thing is a monster. This thing is a damn beast. So get your hands on this one. We're not going to be using it today, but get your hands on it ASAP. That one is going to be going. Now, we're going to be working with a few different amp sims today. The VS 8100, the Randy 250, which has two different amps inside here. Amp swap, POW. And you've got the Randall RH 150. And then if you hit that again, POW, you've got the Dime, the Vivian Campbell, the Kirkwinstein amp itself. This is the RG100ES. Is that it, Eddie? Is Eddie in here? Is Eddie in here? Hello, everybody. I think I should get, like, I just definitely want to keep one of my Telecasters. Yeah, I currently have a guitar, I currently have a guitar. I call it the Hesher. And it's a guitar that's just like a beat to shit RG with spray paint on it and an RG and an EMG 81 with the 18 volt mod. It's just the perfect Hesher thrash guitar that like this. Everybody knows that one guy that has only ever owned one guitar. And it's like an RG that's like really worked in. And the guy just plays it like an absolute virtuoso. Everybody knows that guy, or if you've been around long enough, I know a few of those guys actually. Eddie, how's it going? Weird. I just said your name and you showed up. All right, cool. So we're going to be moving along. I'm going to show you guys a couple of the Dime presets that Eddie made. This is being redone. I want to point out that this right here has already been tackled. Audiority has already done, given this the treatment. Whoa! Ow! All right. Audiority's already given this the revamp treatment. So this one is already been given the one up and the leg back up into, like, it's been given the A-OK. Moving along to this, however, it's not been given that treatment just yet. So it's going to be given that treatment as we go. Now, left to right. Anybody that knows Dime and Dime's tone knows that this is the biggie right here. This is the big thing to have out in front is the EQ Duo. That is one of the main things that gets you that sound. The other thing to note about Dime's sound is that I would say roughly 40% of the guitar sound kind of came from the bass. They played off each other in such a way that you almost couldn't what was what when you were listening to it, because all the notes were the same. They were playing exactly the same, picking everything exactly the same, and so it's really hard to tell. But Rex Brown's bass tone becomes a lot of the guitar tone, and it doesn't stand alone on its own quite the same way. Now, we are going to keep going. This is one of the Dime presets. So yeah, there's a few of these. That's these Dime. And so this is giving you a much better. If you use that IK multimedia thing, the expansion, sure, yeah, it'll get you close, but there's just not enough balls. There's not enough snot in that amp. It just doesn't give you the same feels as this one does. I'm tuning using strings that probably a lot bigger and everything else, but still. Eddie! 11 people. Man, these streams are going over really well. We got a lot of folks with us these days. It's going great. Where the views are up and the subs are up, and we haven't even started the new plan yet. This is fantastic. This year, guys, is going to be a bit of a different vibe. The streams are going to be a little bit more structured as to what times I'm going to be around, for starters. I'm going to try to adhere to more of a schedule so that we can get people a little bit more. Obviously, there's still going to be like drop-in streams where I'm just going to kind of come out of the sky and be like, I feel like streaming. And then I just jump in and just do it. And whoever's here is fine. But there's something to be said for having a schedule to things as well. And trying to do things. I'm also going to try to be streaming on the weekend. I'm also going to attempt something on either Friday or Saturday night later on in the evening in Eastern Standard Time, so that I can get more of the people. I can give other people a chance to watch. I've been told now, there's been a couple people, like 2 or 3 people saying, well, you really got to do this. You got to do that. I can never catch your streams. Yeah, I hear you, and you got it. Sounds great to me. I sure do, Ed. I might have one handy currently. Hey, hey, tee. I really want to try. Man, I'm so excited. Not contained. I'm just keep getting these messages from just working all this stuff out for the new year. For the, I say it again, I'm the new sponsors. Man, I just keep getting these messages drop down. So I gotta just stop those because I'm like, hey, what's that? What's that? Rubberneck. Who? What's that message? And then I'm just, oh yeah, you're in the middle of a stream. Fucking idiot. Be professional. Very professional around here. Anyways, I just keep getting these messages. Wonderful people they are. Anyhow, it looks like Aurora Tone is going to be doing something like some sort of a dual rail. And I'm really excited about that because, guys, you know that I like dual rail pickups. I really do. I love me a dual rail pickup, especially. I haven't tried the Jupiter. Anybody out there tried the Jupiter rail? And anybody in the comments right now or anybody that's watching later, if you've ever used it or if you ever do get a chance to use one, God, man, you gotta let me know. Is it the way? Wes Hoke, man, that guy's got tone for days. Gosh, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't really tell a lot of people. There'd be signs. I would be streaming with a Wes Hoke Iceman almost immediately. I would find one, even if it was some guy that's like, nah, man, I'm not really selling. I will offer you $2,000 more than it's worth. I'm like, yeah, sure. Here you go, buddy. That's how much I want that Iceman, that natural grain Iceman. Ooh! Dr. Bonkers is always my first suggestion if you're trying new IR provider. The reason I like Dr. Bonkers and I go with him above anybody else, that is for me, there's a few that I really, really trust. Dr. Bonkers, that's my number one. The rest in no particular order, but Ownhammer. If you've never tried Ownhammer, oh gosh, you gotta try Ownhammer. I feel like most people have tried the Red Wires Big Box. Now, this is a little bit older, but IRs don't really age. So what I'm suggesting is you go to Red Wires and buy their big box. Okay, so head over to Red Wires, buy their big box, and be very, very excited about what you're getting because you're getting just wow amounts of awesome stuff. As far as other developers goes, York Audio is another one I really trust. Chop tones. A lot of people like chop tones, although the price tends to go a little up. Valhallir. V-A. Hold on a second. V-A-L-H-A-L-L-I-R. Like Valhalla, but I-R on the end. So that's another company that has got fantastic stuff. Another company I trust. This selection you get between the companies I just mentioned covers everything. There's nothing it doesn't cover. ML Sound Lab, by the way, also I find ML Sound Lab's IRs to be wonderful. Their plugins I don't like quite as much, but their IRs are fantastic. They've got lots of different stuff there that's totally worth buying. And so I hope that Dr. Bonkers is my top of my heap, though. It has since the first time I laid eyes on his website. Even I love that he doesn't do the fake software boxes that you're not getting in the mail because it's a digital download. Look at our fake software boxes, everybody. Those cheese me out. I love when I go to a developer and it says he just shows you, here's the cabinet that I shot. It's got ripped Tolex. It's got this, it's got that, it's got holes in the grill. But the man is incredible at shooting cabinets. He is an absolute doctor when it comes to IRs, and he's not on our team. Eddie is our resident IR expert, but when there's anything we don't know, we reach to Valhallir or Dr. Bonkers. Those are our two experts, the guys that we reach to when we have questions about the industry or anything, how things are produced or anything else that we don't fully understand. However, Eddie has become quite the ninja himself, and you can get his IRs right now. Tone Hunt under Sharface, I believe. Eddie, you can type in the username in the comments. That'd be freaking-tastic. I'm a massive fan of Marshall and orange cabs, personally speaking. Well, then, my friend, the IR market is just for you because everybody's got lots of Marshall. Everybody's got lots of orange, although orange is the one hole in Dr. Bonkers' lineup. He has an orange bass cab that sounds so good. His Aguilar bass stuff sounds superb. Hey, it's by far the best bass impulse responses on this earth. For me, I would say there's nothing that touches his bass IRs. Nothing. His guitar IRs, I feel like the entire top of the market, whether it's Ownhammer, York Audio, Dr. Bonkers, ML Sound Lab, all of those companies for guitar IRs are going to provide maximum return for your money. But as for bass IRs, I feel like Dr. Bonkers stuff is not only this far above the rest, but this far above the rest. It's not close for me. That you guys be the judge. I mean, you guys have your own ears, your own monitors, your own headphones, your own basses, your own pickups, your own whatever. So you guys prove me wrong. Tell me what you guys think are the best bass IRs on the planet right now. I would say Dr. Bonkers. That's for me. Anyways, hey again, how's it going, Eric? Nice to see you. I've got his red giant man, messed with it a bit. Not bad at all. As far as IRs go, yes, you're right. The more the merrier. As long as they're good. Don't waste your time with poop, and you'll be able to know what poop is poop. It doesn't take long to figure out bad IRs from good ones. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, Freyskin, then we need to get you some. I mean, not that those are bad. We need to get you hooked up, though. As I chug the rest of my liter of cola, you might be thinking, is he drinking another Coke? Yeah, I absolutely am. And I swear to God, I'm going to stop anytime now. No more cases of Coca-Cola. I've made myself a promise, and I don't break those. No more cases of Coca-Cola will be able to come into this house. None. I will be bringing no more cans of Coca-Cola in this house, but every once in a while, I know it's been 2 in 2 days. I'm just enabling myself here a little bit. But it's a celebration! Last couple of days. That was... What do you guys think of... okay, let's talk about Pantera a little bit here if we can. I want to know, what do you guys think? I'm not interested in knowing what you guys, if you guys care about the reunion. I think it's the most asinine thing that there's these gatekeepers that are all so mad that they saw Pantera back in the day. Like, I saw Pantera several times back in the day, and I'm not sitting here mad that this new generation gets to see this new version of Pantera. There are 2 members in that band that are different. Don't be mad about it. These people are getting what they can and the closest version to a Pantera show. For fucking years and years, Pantera fans said, and I quote, every time it came up, every Pantera fan I knew, when it came up that, well, yeah, man, the only way they could do it was with Zakk Wylde. The only thing they could do, I feel... If the only way they could ever... Sam, Mama will be home soon. Don't worry, buddy. The only way they could do it was with Zakk Wylde. That's the only way, is with Zakk Wylde. And just for years went by. And that's just... Hey, come on, buddy. Sam, our blind cat, he gets very lonely when my missus is right around the time my missus is supposed to come home. And so you're going to hear him in the background. He just walks around the house going, Mom, where? She's not home. What am I going to do for my life? Anyways, every one of those Pantera fans that was complaining right now, all of those people, if you ask them like a year prior to the reunion, what do you think about like Pantera reuniting with Zakk? All of those people would have been like, absolutely, make it happen right now. Oh, that would have been the coolest thing ever. He'd be the only guy that could make it work. And they did it, and then people lost their minds. It's very silly. It's very silly. But what do you guys think? No, I'm not, okay, where I was going with that. I'm not interested in what you guys think about the reunion. What I want to know is what you guys think about Zakk Wylde's decision to make some very interesting changes to the gear and the sound. The idea initially was he was going to use Dime's gear. I understood that he couldn't use Dime's guitars because of very different neck profiles and he wasn't comfortable playing them. Totally understood he's got his own brand of Wild audio. Totally understand. I even understood, it's hard to understand actually, that the EMGs just don't work. The EMGs just make it really tough to get that Dime sound. And then he went and just changed all the gear completely. And I feel like now it's just the regular Zakk Wylde tone doing Pantera, and I just feel like there's maybe a little bit too many liberties taken with the tone. Maybe just a tiny bit. I don't know. I know Eddie. I know people have some opinions on that. So if you have opinions, let me know. Man, you want to see Phil at his fucking best? We got to go listen to the new Scour song. If you guys haven't heard Phil's band Scour, holy smokes, let's do it. Scour. This is Phil's other band. He used to have Joey Jordison or something in this band, I think. This is the new single. This is Phil's band Scour. This band's so heavy, dude. This is Phil, man, and he sounds good in it. Real good. Check this out. It's good. So good. Phil sounds evil as fuck in this. Skim ahead so we're not listening to the whole song. That's so good. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. And I'm totally into it. I'm just gonna listen to the rest of the Scour. Oh, this is just an EP. Let's listen to it anyway. I think Joey Jordison was in this band for a bit. Yeah. Scour is very heavy. Yeah, I'm just not interested. I mean, I would really rather Zakk Wylde just make a little bit more of an attempt to make it more of a Dime sound. You know what I mean? I just like, I know that I don't think he's using like the full chorus like and everything else yet or anything like that. You don't think he's pulling out the roto vibe or anything. But anyways, I feel like I feel one way about it. And anyways, this amp oftenly, just made it up myself. Oftenly. Point is, this amp actually isn't just a Dime amp. This amp has actually become known for a bunch of different artists, but because it was the amp and it was the sound of Pantera, it's sort of become like the Dime amp. And as many times as he tried to use, he definitely used other stuff on the road. He was using all kinds of different setups on the road, and you'd see whatever he was slinging at the time was whatever he was using live, and that you throw that EQ duo out in front of a lot of the amps he was using, and it made sense. It always just kind of sounded like Dime sound, and that was fine. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of the only thing that worked for him in the studio. None of these amps ever really made it into the studio. The Warheads and everything else and the crank stuff. If I'm understanding it correctly, all he ever used in the studio, even with Damage Plan, was just the RG100 ES. Some people, if I'm not mistaken, though, that the tone did change for the Damage Plan stuff. It definitely got to be where there was more mids to it, and the guitars kind of went out on their own a little bit more, and the rhythm didn't necessarily need the bass to stand on its own quite so much as Dime as it did in Pantera. Hey, Mark Studios, you're not wrong. Power Metal's a great album. It would suck that when I did an interview with Rex Brown, one of the questions I asked him was about the albums that were prior that exist. All the bunch of albums that exist prior to Cowboys that sort of just got swept under the rug. And he just sort of said, next question sort of thing. It wasn't one of those things where he didn't want to talk about it like ever. It was just sort of one of those things where to keep the good vibe going, we just sort of moved past it. And man, what a great talk that guy was, though. Whoa, that was a little bit loud. But one of the things is this amp was also used by a lot of other people as well. One thing Dime was really known for is that giving stuff away. There was somebody that once said that the entire NOLA scene was using amps because there's so many people using the same amps in the same scene because Dime just kept on people amps. He would get his hands on something new for a tour. All the stuff he was using for a tour often just got given away to other bands like I Hate God and Crowbar, I'm assuming, and some other stuff got given. This is the stories that I read anyways. I could be incorrect, but Dime had this tendency to just be this guy, this Robin Hood of not that he stole any of it, but like if I'm getting a new amp for this next tour, I'm doing a new amp wall. I'm going to make sure I'm going to keep X amount and the rest, I don't know, we're going to give them away to my friends. And so that was one of the reasons that this amp became popular. It was partially because it was I believe that when he got sponsored by Randall, he gave a bunch away. This is the story that I was told. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. That's fine. That's pretty cool though. But again, you're like, oh, it doesn't have delay. You know, it doesn't have delay and reverb built in. Oh, well, it could, but nonetheless, I'm going to go get my free analog rack delay from Nembrini Audio, and guess what? What's the other one again? You don't want me shredding. There's no soloing going on in here. I'll just stick to the notes that I know. Anyways, then you get to the other side of this plugin, which is the RH150. Now, this is not a well-known amp, and Dime didn't really put a lot of time in with this one, I don't think. Yes, I used it at some point. Yes, I do believe it was used by several people, but it's one of those amps that just sort of is. This one doesn't have a cult following, but it became known as sort of a death metal, one of a death metal go-to for a short period of time. This would have rivaled like the crate amps and things of that sort. That for a period of time, you have to understand if you weren't around, it's tough to understand what people went through trying to get high gain and metal sounds back in the day. There weren't a lot of amps that just had built-in distortion. It didn't exist. There weren't a lot of them. Certainly not ones that involved, and usually it involved you putting a distortion, some sort of aggressive distortion pedal out front to get that high gain and to get that amount of distortion. You'd use the amp distortion plus another distortion pedal in order to get, you're stacking things and getting what your sound. Then something happened. Affordable amps, affordable solid state amps started showing up with loads and shitloads of built-in distortion. Distortion that now you're listening to going, oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, because now there are actually amps like the 5150 and other things that these were just slightly prior to the 5150. I think the 5150 and the price point it was released at kind of changed almost everything. But bedroom players and even the entire or early death metal scene of Cannibal Corpse, Death, you think of all those bands, Atheist, Exhorter, and all of those bands were all solid. All of those bands were solid state tone based. They all started with most of their original albums, apart from up until they got the rectifiers for Cannibal Corpse, for example, was all solid state. A lot of them used the VH140C. Still no plugin out there that really does that amp. The closest you're going to find is a really old freeware plugin that's Windows only that actually mimics a crate amp that was really close to the VH140C. That's as close as you're going to get. And for this, what is it called again? Do I have it installed? Soft Amp. I do. I do not. Sorry. I don't have it installed on this computer. But if you go to Soft Amp, I don't even know if the page is still up. I think it might be gone. I'm not sure. In any event, there's not really a viable way to go after that old school death metal. But Audiority kind of has their thumb on it right here. If you think about it, they offer 3 different amps that were used in kind of widespread in the original death metal scene. 2 of them used by Chuck Schuldiner from Death. This one here, Randall RG120ES. This was used by Chuck. And then you go right over here and you see another amp that was used by Chuck Schuldiner. It wasn't until very, very late in the Death years that he used anything with tubes, and I think it was what was he using at one point right before he passed? Sadly, he was using something that had tubes, but really most of the Death stuff is all solid state. And sadly, it also involves my least favorite distortion pedal, not the plugin, but my least favorite distortion pedal of all time. And I'm just gonna make sure that nothing happens here. This thing can get out of line and out of hand quickly. This is based on the DS1. This is the distortion one from Audiority. You can get this probably for a terrific price on sale multiple times a year, and it is awesome at what it is. If you're looking for that grunge sound, if you're looking for DS1 sound, that is, in my opinion, the best DS1 plugin on the market today. That being said, I hate the DS1. I really do. 13 people. Nice to see each and every one of you. If you're in the comments, do say hello. I'm sorry. Occasionally, I do miss a big chunks of comments when I'm doing the thing, and it's very small. Very small. I'm going to get a screen, guys. I'm going to get a screen. I feel that most important thing for the Dimebag inspired. Yes. Oh, now we're getting out. We're cooking. You know what? If Luca was in here right now, I wish Luca was in here right now, because if he was, he'd be about the, I don't know, the 100th person to tell him that he needs to complete the trifecta of the solidest trio that is the Ampeg 140, VH140C. However, there's one big problem in between that happening and right and where we are now. The problem that we have with that whole thing is that finding one. And he's the kind of developer that likes to own the piece of gear. He likes to keep it. He likes to own it. He likes to have it. And that's just the way it is. And some can do it based on schematics and everything and other aspects. And I do believe that this year is the year you are going to get a VH140C, because I do know of somebody that is loosely considering it. A wink. Actually, there's a couple of developers that have said, I mean, it's not like huge trade secrets or anything, that there's a couple developers that are considering it. Why? Because the amp is starting to come up more and more. And the people that used to sell them cheap aren't selling them. And they're being purchased also and being put into amp walls, producer walls. Not sure why, because it's not really a sound most people now, probably just for eye candy and whoa, what the fuck, look at this, that's cool kind of effect. But still, they're being gobbled up by collectors and just not let go. So it's really tough to find them. So now I kind of feel like if you're going to want to do it, you're probably going to have to buy the clone. You're probably going to have to not build a clone, but you're going to have to do it based on some type of clone, or the crate is very close. But then you really couldn't come out and give it that graphic. That would be greasy. What I would call in the business greasy, to use that graphic of like what would really look like just a rebranded VH140C with the audio already badge on it, and then to have it under the hood, have it be modeled from something that is completely different. I don't know. Maybe. Because you're still, like, that's what you're trying to provide. I don't know. You tell me in the comments, guys. Really? Oasis. I don't know if that it sort of sullies it a little bit for me. Anyhow, let's go to some of the other stuff going on inside here. We'll go to some of the other tones. There's black metal tones in here that I can be honestly say that I created this preset. Let's do that. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. So this thing's fun. It really is. It's got lots of fun different things. If you're looking for old school death metal, if that's your jam, and you're trying to get something else to like fit the bill, and you really just want that old school death metal sound, get the Solidus plugins. If you can't afford the Solidus plugins right now, they are very affordably priced, by the way. Very affordably priced. But if you can't afford them quite yet, there is another way to go. We could go to the L12X. I always like to show you guys this plugin because of just how crazy and simplistic it is. I'm not even going to use a different IR. I'm going to just use the onboard IR. This is free, 100% free, and I'm not going to use anything to help it out. This is just This is what's in the box alone. And because we're doing that, let's throw a free pedal in for fun. We could use the Green Reaper from Audiority, but let's just, because we're on a budget here. We're trying to show we're on a budget. We want good metal tone for on a budget. So I'm going to use the old Ignite Amps TSB1, set up all nice and ready to go. So all I've got going is 2 freeware plugins. Missing some harmonic detail in the gain. You could be right. And Eddie, I'm pretty sure that Luca is also aware of what you're spinning there as well. That is what I was gonna get to that in the Redux redo in the new version. It's tough though, because there are people that probably like this the way it is. And I believe, like, you're gonna have to talk to Luca on it, because I'm not gonna speak for the developer on this one, but you could just talk to Luca about what he had to say about this version part of the plugin. And I do think that there is something a little bit strange about it as well. And being that it wasn't the focal point of the plugin, I don't know, and it's such a rare amp. I think what was done with it was they did what they could with this. And I think that you're going to find that with the redone version of Randy here, it's going to change some things. It's going to change a bunch of different things in this plugin, but I think he would be smart just to make sure that the old one is still available. Download it and you can still get this one just as it is. So that if people like this amp exactly the way it is, no problem. We're going to leave it for you. But if for others that are like, yeah, I want the slightly the updated and making sure that the things are solid here, I'm still saying that this amp, however, the RG is quite nice. It does respond very, very close. Although I do feel like there's, like Eddie said, there's room for improvement. And I believe that Luca is going to make those improvements with this, and it's going to crush. It already crushes, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be a free upgrade as well for anybody that's a customer that's already got the plugin. Obviously, the update's going to be free. I would hope. I've never seen him charge for a plugin upgrade in the past, but here we are. You never know. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of cranks out there. That's another brand that I wish was more love. Is that amp brand? What the fuck is going on with this? Is there not like a dime brand now? What is going on with that? Is that not? But wait, we're gonna but we're gonna move past the Solidus Randy 250 and move along to the VS A100. And also just kind of chilling with this for the quick moment and just kind of showing you guys that you don't need to have, you really don't need to have money to have good tone anymore. You just don't. This thing sounds great. There's a clean and a metal version on here as well. And so, my opinion, I like Standard the best. It's got more stones to it, if you will. And I always test new things with this as well because it's very transparent. It just lets you know exactly what you're getting. No IRs needed, although it does play very, very, very nice with just about any IR you throw at it. Anything you like will sound good with the L12X. So just don't be afraid to just go boop. The single IR is a a blend of 2 C-Cal IRs, if I'm not mistaken. In this, it was the Dave Mustaine Marshall cabinet, 412 Marshall, and it was that and something else, a blend of the two. Then it was either myself or Luca. We both were making blends with the C-Cal stuff at the time, so I can't remember which one of us put that in there. I can't remember. Anyways. Now Warhead amps its own company. The new W84 Mini Head is built by David Karan from KD. That's his name. KHDK. Your tone gets better as you get poorer? I don't necessarily know about that, but I'm saying that there's a great way to sound good on every budget. And part of it starts with a pickup. And pickups are still affordable. Getting a nice bridge pickup, at very least. If you're mostly a bridge player, you can even just do what a lot of guys do. A lot of players do is they replace the bridge pickup and then just unhook the neck pickup, but leave it in the route. Or they just take it out of the route and leave it exposed. I mean, it's up to you. But definitely replace your before buying another amp sim. But if what you have in your guitar is like that stock, no name, came with the guitar, not sure what it is. If you go into the specs of the guitar and it doesn't, and you find out that it's sort of depending on the guitar company, but most sub $1,000 guitars these days, most if not all of them are 100% going to offer the no name pickups, etc. And those we've gone over many times why those are bad for your tone, especially bad for amp sims. You definitely need a good DI signal with amp sims, and a part of a good DI signal is having solid pickups. You don't need to spend a lot. There are cost-effective companies out there. There are a bunch of cost-effective companies out there that sell good pickups without a lot of markup, and you don't need to go custom wound. You can even just go on eBay and look up used pickups and find yourself a Seymour Duncan 59 and a JB combo. I saw one the other day for $120 Canadian, which is like $90 or $85 US. That's a pretty good deal. You'll have tone for days. That's all you need. Start there. It's not about making sure everything you're feeding that amp sim is good. Okay, guys? If you're feeding it garbage, it's going to give you garbage. Garbage in is garbage out. Okay, we'll just be that very clear with that. Not going to be on here too much longer, guys. Just having a good time today. And yeah, here it is. The star of most shows for me. This thing is unreal. This is one of my favorite plugins ever made. And I know that he's very happy with it as well. This is one of my favorite amps ever made. And you're like, really? That's one of your favorite amps ever made? Yeah, absolutely is. Okay, let's see what we got here. Already sounding good, dude. Okay. 12 folks in here. Hi. How are you? My name is Tyler. Welcome to the Amp Sim Show, episode 60. And we are talking about Audiority in this episode and how you might use Audiority plugins to get yourself some of the sounds of old school death metal. I'm going to retitle this Old School Death Metal. Old school death metal tones, or solid state death metal, old school something or other. I don't know. we're not talking necessarily directly of how to tone talk and how to get through Crowbar. Part of the Crowbar sound, if we're talking about it now, is the EMGs. Kirk's been using EMGs forever. I know he is now, or at least for a short period, was with Fishman. I don't know if he's still with them or not, or if he's back with EMG, or what the story is exactly, but I know that EMGs or active pickups, they're a huge part of that sound. Huge part of his sound. And for me, it's that's up to you guys. Some people really like, I find there's not really a gray area. Either you're a really big fan of passives or you're not. Okay, so I'm actually not going to use my own outside source here. I'm just going to use what's in the box. And I'm just going to show you guys how I might put together one of my personal favorite tone to put together inside this plugin. And we're on screen, which is good. The overdrive, we're not going to get too crazy with it. I'm going to turn it on. Although normally I'm not going to use Dr. Drive here. It's not that I don't like it, but it's based on a pedal I don't like. So it doesn't matter how good the plugin version is. If it's based on something you don't really like in its analog form, then it doesn't really matter. But it's funny because even people that understand, as long as you know the piece of gear, you can still comment on its authenticity or how close it is to a replica, because you know the tone so well because you don't like it. So you can still comment. Does it drive you nuts in person? Yeah. This doesn't, I wouldn't say it drives me nuts. I just don't really care for the precision drive. My own personal thing. So that sounds good so far. Kyle still here? I know that Kyle mentioned the other day that he was talking about how... What was Kyle mentioning the other day? Oh yeah, he was mentioning... which band was he mentioning? Dang. I know just earlier today you mentioned Oasis using this amp, but the other day we were talking punk rock and Pennywise. This amp was actually used by Strung Out on a couple of different albums to add a bit of a different flavor when blended with a rectifier and a 5150. So it's kind of interesting. What they were doing is, I believe they recorded the album with they did quad tracking, but they did 2 tracks. If I'm not mistaken, again, this is what Jake Kiley was saying. There was a 5150 and there was also a rectifier, but then in between there was also a couple of tracks of the valve state. And I also heard that it was used on a lot of early In Flames, lots of early Meshuggah. So the valve state is known for being used for more than just by Chuck Schuldiner. Of course, it's got this, like, it's a legendary thing. Now you're starting to see another amp that's starting to get pulled out of pawn shops. For years, you could walk into one of 4 pawn shops in your city and find a valve state just right there on the shelf for like $150 and just be like, I'm gonna buy that amp. And why? It's been here for like 5 years, dust on it and everything. Now, good fucking luck on that one. Good luck. You're not gonna find it. You tell Luca, dude. Tell Luca. Telling me. It can only go so far. Yeah, buddy. Eric Lavoie, how are you? Downloaded all their free stuff to try out. Have you tried all of Wave Minds? Have you tried all of Audiorities? Have you tried all of Brainy Audio's free shit? Well, you know what? If you're broke, like everybody else around the holidays, just those 3 companies and their free stuff that I just mentioned, Wavemind, Audioity, and Brainy Audio, go and retrieve all of the different free stuff from all 3 of those companies. You will have an entire holiday season of shit to do. There's so much that you could be doing with all the free stuff from all 3 of those companies. Oh my gosh. So much cool free stuff. While you're at it, grab the Emissary bundle from STL Tones. If you don't already have it, let's be honest, most people watching this probably already have the Emissary bundle, but you gotta throw it out there. You gotta. Otherwise, someone in the comments like 6 months from now is gonna watch this and be like, he didn't mention the STL Tones Emissary. He didn't mention it. I know about it. Trust me. I've eaten and breathed and pooped the Emissary over the years. I've used it on so many projects. Trust me, I know the feels. And so we're chilling out today, going over some different plugins that you can use to get like that Pantera solid state type sound. That would be the Randy 250 that is about to get, as far as we know, as far as we were told earlier today, about to get a bit of a facelift. Very cool, very happy. Super excited to hear about that, because this plugin, that plugin, really, I do feel the marketability is there for it. I feel like if it just gets a bit of a facelift and gets a few things put in the right direction, I really do feel like that if it's put out there in the right direction and more people know about it, man, more vintage, the better. And you're like, I mean, is that really vintage gear? I mean, it's 40 years old now, that amp, right? The amp is like almost 40 years old. Came out in the 80s. So yeah, the RG, I would consider it to be, I would consider that to be vintage gear. I don't know. Yes, prong. Yeah, a lot of bands that is where I've heard that the this comes in handy, is that quad tracking scenario where on the one side it's one rig and the other side it's the other rig, but then they want to have something in the quad track realm to pull it all together, so they use the same amp. I've seen that. I've seen that as a thing. I've seen that as a thing with lots of different Marshall amps being used for that bright fullness kind of thing. That's up to you. It really depends on what you're looking for. I got Emissary, but I'll check out those 2. Happy holidays, Eric. Happy holidays to you. And I'm going to be seeing a lot. If you're interested, man, we're going to be around a lot during the holidays. And thank you so much to the team and the staff here, guys, for being around and just chilling out with us, and always being available in the streams to answer questions that I can't get to. Thank you so much. You guys move quick, and it's moving even quicker. I think right now we've got maybe the most people we've ever had on a stream. It's probably got something to do with, I really should have kept this. I should have kept this in the list just to show people that are stopping by that this was exactly what this is, the Pantera side of what we're streaming about today. We did some Pantera tones earlier in the stream. If you're curious, you can rewind. But this thing right here is a monster for that Pantera sound. Also notable that Def Leppard and Dio and Crowbar and I Hate God and a number of other artists have used the RG100 ES over the years. It's not just the Pantera amp, and it alone does not give you the Pantera sound. That's partially located in the dual EQ out front, and also you have to you really got to bring up Rex Brown's bass tone. That all together is what kind of makes the Pantera sound go. Watch it go. If you know, you know. All right, so moving along to this, I'm just chilling here, and this thing is real angry. Oh yeah, I forgot. Turned it off so it wouldn't yell at me. I can't do it any as fast as I used to. Oh yeah, no, he's gonna go way up higher for the last one. They think they know who I am. All I know is I love to sleep. Yes, I do. Love me some sleep, folks. 14 people. How are you? My name is Tyler. Welcome to the AmSim Show. As far as I know, the only place you can see a podcast-style live stream, not really podcast, but as far as I know, the only person out there that just wastes their entire life streaming about AmSims, each community that we are. If you're ever curious about anything to do with anything that we are using, or if you have any questions whatsoever, don't be afraid to put them in the comments, because myself or the staff will get to them. I guarantee it. That's what we're good at here. We like answering questions. I don't care how new you might be or how much of a veteran you might be or think you are. All right? We love debates, but don't be a dick. Okay? That's one rule we have around here. Just don't be a dick. Okay? Because I don't want that side of me to come out on camera. Nobody wants that side of anybody to come out around here. We're all here for good times and good times only. If you want to debate, debate. Debate with me. I'm happy to be called wrong. You're not going to get booted out of here for disagreeing, so please do. Feel free to disagree if you do disagree, and tell me how you feel. Otherwise, again, I love those type of people that's like, I see your point, but I disagree a little bit, and here's why I disagree. Love that. Don't just be like, you suck. I don't agree with you. You're dumb. Start some shit. I can always listen to Cannibal Corpse. I can always listen to Cannibal Corpse. I saw them on my birthday one year, and I saw them with the Faceless. The Faceless, Obscura, and Severed Savior, I think, was the tour with Cannibal Corpse on my birthday one year. I think it was my 20-something birthday anyway. I don't remember. 20-something birthday. 24th? God damn, I'm old. That was... Jeez, man. I'm old. Super old. George Lynch used to plug it in to his little RG. Better stuff for free that nothing free is bad. And if you get use out of it, that's fantastic. I love everything that ML SoundLab does with IRs. Don't necessarily love all of their amp sims. I think their amp sims, some of them are, the quality is very much like this. Or kind of like this. The IRs in them are very good. I find them to be very cookie cutter. They often involve the same selection of just rebranded pedals. I just feel there's other stuff out there that could probably get more attention. Even the freeware, as far as freeware goes, I feel like there's other stuff out there that's probably going to do you a little bit better. That being said, don't take my word for it, and nothing free is bad. Everything free needs to be tried. Okay? Has anybody tried the Spirit World? That's the Spirit World amp? I saw it the other day. There's a plug-in company that did a Spirit World amp. And I found it very interesting. There's like 4 knobs on the amp. I just feel like it just screams like it could be. It screams like there's a profile in that box. That's complete speculation on behalf. I've not tried it, so don't take my word for it. If you've tried the Spirit World amp, I'm curious. Do I need to try it? $11 to $48, too floppy for D. 100 and 50%, that would be just fine for D. It's not too floppy, but that's relative to how you play. It's really relative to how you like the strings to feel. In D, I typically will use a nothing smaller than like a 52 to like 11. My selected, I mean, I've tried to use just recently, I tried to use 50 to 11 in D for my teal guitar, and I realized it was just too floppy for my personal taste. I had to bring it up to E flat. I had to bring it up to E flat. It is what it is, though. It really depends on you, and it depends on the string tension you like. It depends on how heavy your hand is. It depends on the pick you're using. It depends on the music you're playing. For me, if I was playing a Telecaster and it was tuned in D, and I was looking to do some chicken picking, then that 48 to 11 would work fine, because you need to do all kinds of ridiculous bends in that style of guitar playing. But for something where I'm really laying on it, that's too thin. These, for the tuning I'm in, I even feel like these are a little tiny bit too heavy for the tuning I'm in. I feel like it'd be flat. Is like I'm just trying this gauge, trying it out, and I feel like it's just a bit too heavy. Well, but who knows? Yeah, Corpse Grinder, I met him one time, and he was a really nice guy. He talked with us about Nintendo 64. We got to hang out with him. I was on the promotional team. It was prior to getting drunk for my birthday that year. I was on the promotional team that did the show. Got a chance to talk with Corpse Grinder a little bit. Asked him what he was what he was playing for video games, because I heard he was a gamer, and he was like, I'm still. He's like, we were talking N64. Anyways, that was the only conversation I had the opportunity to have with the man. So, yeah. That's something, Corpse Grinder, and lots of metal guys would do that, especially in the current barometer. You're not getting away with bullying somebody at a metal show. That's how you get your ass kicked. Even if the guy doesn't stop it, if the singer doesn't stop it, someone else is going to take that alpha male attitude and say, "They're not at this show. You're not." Bullying somebody at a metal show is the worst fucking idea. You got to be some kind of drunken or some kind of stupid, or both. You better be really tough too, because you're about to have a really bad night if you're trying to bully somebody at a metal show or a punk show. Ooh, oh man, that's not a good. Oh gosh, trying to bully somebody at a punk show. Good luck to you, sir. good luck. Have fun. I mean, a pop punk show, sure, you might get away with it. If those still exist or happen, you might get away with it. But at a real punk show, oh gosh, you'd be eaten alive, and you'd be thrown out, and you might have a bottle thrown at you, or worse. He's a lot of belly now too, man. You see that guy's fucking barrel? Homie's eating. He's eating good. He's eating real good. Oh man, I love me some Cannibal Corpse. Gosh, do I love that band. Anyways, guys, today we are just about on our way out of here now. We had a great day of streamings. We had a great day of streaming today. Thanks so much for being with me. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Audioority is one of the most fantastic developers, and maybe one of the most underrated developers in the industry. Head over to the website ASAP and check out everything they have to offer. There's only a few amps, but they have lots of different creative tools, lots of delays, lots of different I call them creative tools, processing tools, production tools even. Go and check out everything they have to offer over at Audioority. I can promise you that everything they have over there, it carries a very high level of quality that I can personally vouch for, and a developer that absolutely cares about their customers. And he's also pouring his talent into a second company. As I said, a lot of the most talented individuals in this industry are doing double or even sometimes triple duty doing some stuff with other people. So Luca also doing Polychrome DSP that has recently released Nunchuck plugin that you really got to go try if you're a fan of Marshall tones. That being said, guys, thank you for being today. I appreciate you. I am going to select... Eric. Hang on. Yeah, we're going to go with Eric. Eric Jutsu. You're going to win a copy. You're going to win a plugin over at Audiority. Okay. The AmpSimUniverse at gmail.com. Again, the AmpSimUniverse at gmail.com. Get at me and let me know, and I will deliver a license. Please, before that, open an account over there at Audiority. If you don't already have one, open an account over there, and I will make sure that you get yourself a plugin. Let me know which plugin you'd like, and I will discuss things with forthwith and get you hooked up, and it'll be inserted into your account with license file, and you'll be able to do it all on your own. Very exciting. Congratulations to Eric, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. Okay, guys, I'm not sure exactly which days this week, but you can plan to see me a couple days this week, probably around let's say 4:30 Eastern time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. I will be around. Thank you again. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. They're kind of stagnant right now, but they won't be for very long. Like I said, folks, January 1st, things are going to change around here a little bit. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and yeah, just kind of sit idle for a little bit. Thank you very much again. Cheers, and I will see you guys next time.